Traumatic brain injuries have been in the news quite a bit in recent years, with the U.S. military presence in the Middle East, as well as new developments in the medical industry. According to the CDC, a traumatic brain injury is the result of a bump, blow, or jolt to the head, or a penetrating head injury that disrupts the normal function of the brain. TBIs can also result from sports injuries, vehicle accidents, explosions in active military zones, falls, and much more. Traumatic brain injuries can affect people in the same way that other types of injuries can. Victims are often unable to work and face mounting medical bills. However, because the brain is such a complex organ that doctors still have a limited understanding of, traumatic brain injuries are a very complex topic. Attorney Larry Green is here today to answer some common questions about traumatic brain injuries and explain the complex area of TBI law. So Larry, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Larry, what are some of the most common causes of traumatic brain injuries, possibly that you see even in your firm?
Well, we see traumatic brain injuries caused by motor vehicle accidents, by falls, and by sports-related injuries.
And why are traumatic brain injuries such a difficult and complex area of personal injury law to work with?
Well, the brain is a very complex organ, and when it's concussed, there are a number of things that can happen. You can have a significant period of loss of consciousness, but you can also have a traumatic brain injury or concussion without a loss of consciousness. And unlike other injuries that cause pain, the symptoms from traumatic brain injury are a little bit trickier to diagnose. If you've had a significant loss of consciousness, generally this is picked up in the hospital. But if you haven't, then these symptoms manifest themselves at a later date with sensory problems such as photophobia, sensitivity to light, inappropriate outbursts of anger that's uncharacteristic to your personality, fuzzy thinking, inappropriate crying. These are the kinds of things that manifest themselves over time. And generally we pick this up not so much from our clients, but really from the people that live with our clients, family members or significant others who tell us they're just not the same person they were before the accident.
Yeah.
So it's tough to pick up.
Well, what are your thoughts on what is sometimes referred to as a minor brain injury? Although I don't know how a brain injury can be minor.
Well, I don't think there are any minor brain injuries because anything that affects your brain, is significant. You need all of your brain power. You need all of the use. So, people can. There are some dramatic brain injuries that cause horrible problems. But there are also some that are not quite so bad. However, it does make an impact on our clients' lives. Sometimes they can learn coping methods to deal with this, but sometimes, the injuries are so significant that, they're frankly very dangerous for our clients. They put something on the stove, the phone rings, they're distracted, they answer the phone, and they forget that there's something on the stove, so the pot boils over or there's a small kitchen fire. Sometimes the coping methods require people to put Post-it notes all over the house. Remember to turn the lights off, turn the gas off, and people just don't remember from what they're doing and can't go back to what's going on. So these can be lifelong, debilitating problems that really affect the quality of people's lives. They're unable to engage in employment, and they really suffer.
It sounds as if they may be difficult to diagnose.
They're difficult to diagnose. The obvious ones are generally picked up by neuropsychological testing at the hospital, but if they're not picked up right away, there are various programs that deal with people who have sustained concussions that are run by hospitals, and they provide treatment options for people. Treatment options is different than getting better, because if the brain injury doesn't resolve itself over a matter of months. It can be a chronic, lifelong condition.
What if someone sustains a serious blow to the head while on the job? How is that handled from a legal perspective?
Well, blows to the head are like any other work-related injury. As long as you are in the course and scope of your employment, you have a right to seek and obtain workers' compensation benefits, which consist of medical expense reimbursement and lost wage reimbursement.
You talked about that sometimes you find it's actually family members that notice there's a problem. What if that is not noticed for a year or longer? Are they still going to be able to file once they realize, hey, this must have happened from that fall I took at work last year?
Well, that depends really on the particular circumstances of each case, which is unique. However, if you can document that you had not only the accident, but you had these problems all along, and a physician will relate it to this event, you can proceed with a claim that's based on your traumatic brain injury arising out of a certain accident event. Yes, it's possible.
And you handle these cases, right?
Yes, we do.
Are they handled differently than a more typical accident claim?
We would handle this as we would handle any negligence-related accident. We determine fault. We determine who all might be at fault for this. But it requires a little bit extra effort because it's hard to get people with brain injuries to recognize that they have a problem. And we generally have to have a meeting with our client and the family members and discuss this and get the family to help and assist getting their injured family member to appropriate medical attention and following through with the treatment plan. Traumatic brain injury victims know there's something wrong but can't quite put their finger on it, and it's sometimes difficult because of the nature of the injury that they sustained to get them to follow through on appropriate medical attention.
Larry, how can someone reach your firm if they have specific questions?
If anybody has any question about any kind of an accident or injury case, they can call us on our toll-free number, 1-800-999-2626, or they can go online at burnergreen.com and leave a message, and we'll get right back to them. And it's a no obligation, no cost consultation. We're happy to provide this service to anybody that has a question.
Very good. Larry, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Until next time, this is Cindy Speaker for Pennsylvania Law TV.